I know, Doc. I got a rough life. Huntington Beach, California last week, South Beach in Miami this week. Somebody's got to do it, though, I guess. Anyways, at least this time I have to dress appropriately for the occasion. I'll get to spend a little time in the water here after I'm not talking to you. I'm actually going to find a little quiet spot here and talk to you this week about accumulation. All right, Doc, I carved out a nice quiet little space over here for myself so I can talk to you about accumulation today. And accumulation comes in a lot of forms, and obviously I think most people think of accumulation as a good thing, as a goal of theirs, to accumulate stuff, things, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, and that's not what I want to talk about today. It's the accumulation of habits or things that we no longer need, but we've just kept around. You know, kind of the hoarding syndrome in our practices. So, helicopter going overhead there. Hopefully you can hear me. Anyways, I see it happen in two different ways. One is people obviously accumulate things, pieces of equipment that they used to use but stopped using, and they just still sit there in the corner, or just papers, files, manuals from other consultants that they haven't looked at in years and they're still sitting on their desk, which tells me a lot. You know, when I can see who they've worked with, at least I know what kind of process they're in. But again, those manuals just sit there and get unused, and they just accumulate, and they're just reminders of things that have gone wrong in the past. So whether it's things or whether it's procedures, also things that you started doing because a consultant told you to or because you thought it was right, didn't get results for you, but you just kept doing it. It just became a habit for you. Those things accumulate on top of each other. So we have one system doesn't work. We learn a couple new things that might work a little bit better, but now we have a bigger, more complicated system, and we just keep on doing that, accumulating these systems and procedures. So there's really two things you can do when you accumulate a bunch of stuff. So let's say your desk is messy. A couple things you can do. You can take the few things away that don't belong there anymore, that you don't need anymore, and put them away. Typically, when you do that, you still end up with a bunch of stuff on that desk. You might get rid of half of it or 80% of it. My recommendation for cleaning your desk is to take everything off your desk, throw it into storage, and then sit at your desk for a little while. Figure out what you need. Figure out, you know, like, oh crap, I need that book. Go get it, put it in your desk. By the time you're done with that, you will have gotten rid of probably 90–95% of the stuff that was on your desk in the first place. So 2 weeks later, you've probably brought back just a few things. I recommend the same thing with your procedures. Typically, doctors, especially when they call me, they want to learn a new procedure. They want to learn some new marketing. They want to learn something new. And I spend most of my time getting rid of the accumulation first, because all of it is a drag. All of it is resistance on you. So let's get rid of that stuff first. So when you start looking at your procedures, your systems, I do not recommend the take a few things out of it thing, but it's still better than nothing. Still better than leaving the accumulation. If you know something's not working for you, stop doing it. But for me, it's break those systems down, start from scratch, start with a plain whiteboard, and build those systems with just the few things that you need to create your ultimate patient, to create your ultimate practice. Make them as simple as they can possibly be. It's a lot more fun to practice when things are simple, and you'll get a lot farther. Without that resistance of all that accumulated junk, we just take off. Things go faster. You grow faster with things simpler. So again, break it all down, erase everything, start over, and just add in the few things that you know have worked for you, that have helped you to create, again, that perfect patient for yourself, the relationships you want, and the practice that you want. Get rid of all the accumulated junk. That's my message for this week. Spend some time this week looking at your practice and your things and your procedures, and see what you can get rid of. And again, my best idea is to get rid of it all and then start rebuilding from there. It won't take as long as you think. Be well worth the exercise. So I got a lot of travel coming up here. The fall is always a busy time of year for me, so a lot of people trying to hit those end-of-year goals or even start planning for 2015. So I know one of my big trips coming out here, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the Northeast. So if you're in the Northeast, definitely click a link somewhere here on my page and schedule some time with me when I'm up in your area. And if you have anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, any questions or comments, put those down there in the comments section, and I will look forward to talking to you on my next trip. Take care.